Yo, yo, what's happening, people? It's your boy, the Nature Boy, and I'm your host. Welcome to Golden Generation Podcast, where each week we're dedicated to bringing you the best talent that's out there. But most importantly, trying to give you guys some much needed inspiration, motivation, and value. To any of you who are looking to enter the business world, the creative world, or the sports world. This episode features the well-acclaimed and established artist Octavian, all the way from the UK, and he joined the show to have a beautiful discussion around the hero's journey, going from homelessness to being famous, his recent album Alpha, and so much more. This episode is definitely not to be missed. So, without any more delays, Tristan Trey, drop that beat and let's go to the moon.
Wicked. Fire. How are you?
I'm good, man. How's the day been?
Yeah, good. Really good. It's summer in London. It's a bit rainy, so it's good.
It's complete opposite this side, man. It's raining. It's miserable weather at the moment.
Is it?
Yeah.
Where are you exactly? Johannesburg?
Yeah, no, I'm in Cape Town at the moment, but I'm originally from Johannesburg. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So cool, man. Before we get started, I just wanted to ask you if there's going to be anything that you're not going to be comfortable talking about.
No, literally, no.
Okay, cool. Super. Okay. Just going to make sure the camera's recording. 3, 2, 1, and we online. What's up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of Telescope Vision's Golden Generation. And today we have an incredible episode lined up for you. We have someone on board who is truly talented, extremely versatile, and someone I would say is just in a perfect example of what it is to show perseverance and determination. He is one of the best artists, I would say, in the game at the moment, and the most interesting person. So please welcome Octavian.
Thank you for the lovely intro, my bro.
Welcome to the show, man.
Glad to be here, man.
I'm honestly I'm grateful for your willingness to be on here, and I really appreciate your time. It's one of those things where it's been just a bunch of synchronistic moments in my life at the moment. You can call it God's time, and it's just been, God been nudging me in the right direction just to show me that, I'm on the right path and I'm doing what I'm meant to be doing. So yeah, let's get right into it. I kind of want to take it from the beginning. So you kind of grew up in France and then you moved to the UK when you were a bit young with your mom. Do you want to tell us about that?
Yeah. So I was actually born in the UK. A lot of people think I was born in France, but I was born in the UK. When I was really young, I got excluded from school. And then I was transferred over to live with my uncle in France for 2 years. And but my mum was French in it, so I only spoke French at home. So I got away with the language in France a little bit. But over there was very racist, There was not really any. I was like one out of 2 black people in my whole school. So like out of like 1,000 or 2,000 kids, like, do you know what I mean? So then when I came back, I went to Globe Academy, which was like the worst school in South London at the time. Even Obama came to the school because it was so mad. Yeah.
Hey.
And then after that, I moved out of home really young, 14. And then that's when, my life changed. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's funny because like I've been reading this book by Joseph Campbell. It's called The Hero's Journey, and there's a cool adaptation of the movie or of the book. It's called Finding Joe. And basically like the hero's journey is a basic archetype of the hero, involving the hero going on on a journey, right? And on that journey, it involves him, being handed like not all the tools in order for him to like achieve the journey, and him going through like certain hurdles and challenges as a form like a resistance, and him having to have to take on that challenge and really just step up to the plate to embarking on that hero's journey. And that hero experiences like a lot of crises, but it's within that crisis that you kind of awaken to your greater power and the path that you were born to be on. And it's really cool, because I think that kind of resonates with your kind of story. From a young age, you were in the UK, then you moved to France for a bit, then you came back to the UK, and then you've experienced so many things, the loss of your dad, and then also your mom. I want to ask you, what allowed you to kind of cultivate the determination that you have, having had like immigrant parents and then growing up in the UK with kind of like African lineage?
I think it's always going to be hard for someone that's coming into a country they don't know, especially a country that's already has so much advantages, because when you're in school, you don't learn about taxes or things like that, especially if you have kind of like parents from an African sort of background. It's hard to get into the culture of exactly what English people do, even though we think we do, right? It's the culture is quite more complicated than what we think. So like we got loads and loads of disadvantages, put into council flats, almost put against each other in the streets. Do you know what I mean? And I say it's our fault a little bit for falling into this kind of a trap that is egotistical and very violent in our poorer areas. And yeah, when my mum came to London, I think that a lot of my trauma and a lot of my pain growing up came from the fact that we were in disadvantage. And I think that a lot of people in disadvantage have that same trauma, willing to do a lot more than the norm to get money, and to survive and to succeed. And those hurdles come, as you said, the hurdles of God or that the higher power to kind of try and put us on the right path, and people survive and people don't. That's the sad thing about our disadvantage, and not only being African, but being out of any culture that's a minority in the country, and even the people that live in the country that are poor and that have that disadvantage. I think in life, God will give you those hurdles, and some people actually do survive them and learn from them and actually move on and progress and actually find that alignment as you're talking about. And some people actually don't. It's a disadvantage, but I think it's greater reward,
Yeah, 100%, bro. Like you see it as like you get the perspective that like the world is actually, working for you. God's working for you because he's developing you. You're getting refinement. Each hurdle is like just a way of you leveling up to the next version of yourself,
Exactly. That's exactly it.
So during this time, you talk about this a lot, and even in your album, which we're going to get into, about like having a period of being homelessness. Do you want to talk more about that?
Yeah. So with me, I was a really bad kid when I was younger. I wasn't bad-hearted, but I just didn't like any rules, right? This is just the truth. And even at home, at school, wherever it is, or law or anything like that, anything that was rule-based, I kind of went against it, because I felt like in life, from a very young age, I knew that in life that you had to be free, still do good by people, but absolutely free to make your own decisions and choices. I didn't believe in like being strict on someone else or someone defining your future. So then I moved out of home literally when I was like 14 to try and live my own life and to become who I needed to be. And it was, and that was very hard, bro. Like literally at 14, I thought that, you know, when you're 14, you think, you know, oh, like you go outside and then boom, that first day you have no money, you can't even buy food. And I tried to go back home, I remember that same night. And my mum was just like, no, go fend for yourself. Like, literally, that's it. You left, you know, you can't come back. My mum was quite strict and hard-headed, like, I'm not gonna lie. But it helped me develop a lot. But I missed out on a lot of key learning points in my life, definitely. It was like a survival mentality that I had. It wasn't like a development into how to become a good person. It's just how to survive, which is a big disadvantage that I had early on. But it was very hard. Obviously, I was sleeping on the roads, on the tube.
Sure.
I was stealing from, you know, Sainsbury's every night for about 5 years, you know, to survive, you know, and then until I was signed, all the way up until I was signed when I was 19. 19, yeah.
19. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a very, very hard life, a lot of violence, a lot of in the streets of London, you know what I mean? A lot of cliques, a lot of gangs, a lot of ways to get the money, you know, I had to do the drug dealing and all of this stuff. And it was, you know, it wasn't easy.
Yeah. I can only imagine, man. And I want to thank you for being so, you know, honest and truthful, you know. During this time, were you focusing a lot on your music?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, I was focusing on my music. I didn't think it would work, but it was like my escape. I actually have a charity now that focuses on the same thing that kind of helped me a lot when I was younger. And it was having facilities. So in Peckham, where I was from, there was a school called the Old Bellenden School. And it had like the facilities where, you know, you can make music and they gave you food and it was free. So I'd always go there because of the food, but in turn, I'll make music, you know. And that pushed me a lot into that, to starting music.
Wow. And I mean, it's crazy just to like see your growth, man. Because I mean, like 2017 to 2019 were like just a crazy 2 years for you. I mean, we so rest in peace. You know, you got the co-sign from Virgil, co-sign from Drake, and you know, you got a lot of backing from a lot of the OGs in the UK scene, Skepta, Suspect, you know, all these, you know, great artists were, you know, kind of like in alignment with you. And things were like, you know, it was like God's way of showing you this is just a taste of what's gonna come, but even better things are gonna come even now. And you know, I really want to just ask you, you know, like, what was your creative process in the music that you were making during those times?
I think my again, like, remember when I was saying kind of like the rules is kind of like what I don't like. I was never like, even in the streets, yeah, there's so many rules because you can see it even in like the drill videos and things like that, and you can see all of the people like we all dress the same. If you think about it, everyone wears the bally or they wear the bag that goes like that in London, or they wear the hoodie and he wears a hoodie, and you know, like everything kind of goes in a wave where everyone follows actually the same thing, whether you're enemies or not. Like they're actually similar people. They could have been friends. Do you know what I mean? They're in the same interests, exactly the same. They probably listen to the same music, but then they're enemies. And I saw that from very young, that everyone just kind of like follows a wave. And I hated that. And that's when I started making music, and I started not just chilling with the gang people. And I think you can tell in my videos and stuff like that, everyone's very diverse. I don't care what race you are or what gender you are, if you're gay or not or whatever. Like, there's something you can learn from everyone. But in my hood and stuff like that, it's very one-sided. Everyone's the same. We're all on this. We all listen to the same music. We all wear the same shoes. and in music it's the same. Everyone was on grime. Yeah, let's just do grime or drill or whatever. And it was just like, for me, it was like, bro, like, how can you be individual without your own tastes or your own, how can you bring something new to this? Like, so yeah, then I started doing music and I started mixing genres. I used to go to like a lot of house raves to obviously get my money and stuff like that. And I mixed the genres of house, and I took the genres of grime, mixed it up to try and make something new. And I think my process in writing is always trying to make something that's that fits within kind of the rules of music, but really bending the rules of music, of the image, of fashion, of whatever. Trying to make it as artistic as it can, because the music is art. It's not, right now, I feel like music has turned to a formula. It's like a chorus, rap about certain things, girls, whatever, cars, drill, music. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I feel like music is not about, it's not a formula, it's art, and it's whatever you want. So it's like, yeah, when I'm writing now, I think my process is like trying to make it as always as different and as unique as possible, finding that gap and going in that. So yeah.
Yeah, man, and I love that, because like you can literally see it in your new album now, which by the way is awesome. Congrats on the release now. It's about like a month or so since being released, and you released it independently. And
Yeah.
yeah, man, congrats on that. And it's awesome to see how you just blend in so many different elements, from just, you know, paying homage to a bit of like Afro beats, you know, kind of like Santi type vibe beats, you know, with songs like I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right, but I think it's YM.
Yeah.
Yeah, YM,
Waham.
yeah.
Yeah.
That was a
Yeah.
great tune, and I love Forever, and then also Famous, where you got on Ghana as well.
Mhm.
Great tracks on the album, and I really want to find out from you, what what headspace were you at when you were making Alpha?
To be honest, that was a very top. That's where I was in a very toxic kind of place. You know, my mom just died. We were touring. I was with my ex-girlfriend, which is now, you know, the topic of most conversations. You know, I was in a very dark headspace. Even though I had the money and all of that, it didn't make it any better. You know, the money is, I've lived my whole life without money, so you know. And I think in some moments maybe you can hear it, like there's people that were jealous. Do you know what I mean? My friends that thought they were my friends, I gave a lot to, but because I didn't give my time to, you know, they started becoming jealous.
Mm.
And there's a thing that I learned from that, and it's that you know, you can be generous with money, but that's not actually being generous. You have to be generous with your time, your actual attention onto these people around you. And I was very generous with my money, like made sure that everyone was paid for, but I was very in my own sort of bubble, always very determined in what I wanted to do and not paying enough time to people. That was my bad, but obviously they didn't act in the best way either, and it was very jealous time, and you know, a lot of people that were around me at that time are not around me today. You know what I mean? So it was just like the adjustment to fame. Everyone was following me, you know, you got the big Drakes and you got Skepta, you know, like is now my friend, and Travis Scott is trying to sign me, and all of these things happening. Rihanna's on my FaceTime. There'll be a lot of people around you that are not really there for you. And that was that period of time when I was making Alpha. And so I signified Alpha as obviously my dog. I called it Alpha. This is Alpha. Because this was the person who stayed loyal to me and who saw everything from the start to the finish, and is still there here today.
Yeah. And it's crazy, you know, speaking of loyalty, that's actually one of my favorite songs on the album. And I love how like in the bridge and in the second part of the song, it's just like you having that conversation with yourself that like yes, all these things have happened, but like, let's put that away and let's just focus and show the world this is what I can do, and I'm going to show you that I'm good at what I'm doing.
Yeah, exactly. It's very hard to do that when you're a real person, you know what I mean? Because a lot of people, obviously, in the entertainment world, they know how to really shield that side of themselves. But me, because, you know, again, I've missed out on so many lessons growing up because I'm from literally the streets, like the worst of the scum. Do you know what I mean? You know, I can only be real, and my emotions sometimes just get like the better of me. And then I'll talk online about things that happened in the past, and I'll be really real and raw about it. But really and truly, what the thing is I've learned, and for all other artists out there, it's like if you're given a talent, you use that to express, you know, use your art to express it. If it's speaking your art, then use that. But if it's music, then use that to express, you know, it's better for everyone.
Yeah, I always tell my friends, life is short, art is long.
What do you say? Sorry?
I was saying that I always, just to add on to that, it's like I always tell my friends, life is short, art is long.
Yeah, trust. Exactly.
Yeah. And yeah, I want to talk more about the songs on the album. I mean, like the song's like famous and like such a cool song. Like, do you want to talk about how you managed to get Gunna on the song and what was that process like?
So obviously, I'm pretty much more known in America than I am in my own city, which is mad. Yeah, there's a lot of people that, you know, fuck with and that know me in America. You got like Gunna, you got Drake, and all of these people. They talk amongst themselves. I don't know. Probably they have a free Gunna, by the way. Fucking hell. Yeah, and literally it just happened really quickly. 21 Savage, all of these people, it really just if they like the song, boom, it just happens, you know. So we aimed it kind of at Ghana. We aimed certain tracks at certain people, and it actually worked. So it was just like it was quick. I was in London though, and then they done it from their side, and then they sent it over.
Yo, that's so fire. Did the same process kind of happen with Rari with getting Future on?
Yeah, because it was by the time that was happening, it was like that beginning of coronavirus.
Yeah.
So it wasn't really like everyone was quarantining and putting masks on, and you had to sign 15 papers to get into the studio. So we couldn't really like connect like that, but it was a long distance love.
Yeah. And I'm very curious, you know, it's one thing, you know, because I don't make music, you know, so I'm just like, whenever I listen to music, I'm a consumer, and most people are. So I really want to find out from you as the artist, like what is like the main intentional goal that you're trying to make people feel when we listen to your music?
I don't think it's about what people feel. I think it's about making sure, especially now, before I don't really care, innit? I'll do music for me and what I like and how I feel. But now it's changed, and I really want people. I really want to say a message to people in the music, and whether it be positive or sad but never negative, and never influencing them to do the wrong things. And I think that's why our society right now is it's becoming more and more. I think people don't know what's good and bad anymore. People are very quick to judge what's bad, but then listen to only, you know, bad, like really like bad music, you know what I mean? Like not bad music, but like people saying like the worst, like stab you, like, and then they'll be like, yeah, I'm you know, I'm the greatest guy. And it's influencing this young generation. Like for example, like what the drill that's happening now. Even though I love drill, and I love what it means and what it represents. It means struggle, and I get it. Like I've been through the same thing. But then when all the kids are wearing like balaclavas, and then like kids are like dying just because of a song. People don't understand the power of their you know, their words, you know, and it actually it's stronger than what people actually think. Like I do charity, yeah, work, and I see the kids, they come and they literally dress like their favorite rappers. Do you know what I mean? They literally do what their favorite rappers nearly tell them to do through their song. Whatever, it's cool. Rapping is cool. So at school, I need to be cool. So I need to wear the same thing. I need to do the same thing that they do. Like when you're 14, 15, you're going to do that. And a lot of them end up in prison. So with my music, I really, really want to make sure that I don't give that same message. You know what I mean? And give a good message to the young people. It's very important.
That's something that's so commendable, man, especially in the time that we're in, where there's so much technology that's able to be influenceable, you know, things like TikTok, you know, things like clickbait culture. Like it's good that you set in that conscious awareness of being able to be intentional of what you want to put out to the world, and making sure that it's providing nourishment for people, that it's going to be sustainable for future generations and generations to come.
Yeah, I think like music is like clothes, you know, like you wear your music. It's like the music that and people are interested in you can kind of even tell what kind of music you're into by the way you are and the way you kind of look. You kind of, not all the time, but so music has such a powerful influence on people that people do, if there's a message to new artists or whatever, people do need to be conscious of the message you really want to give out, and not using the same flow and whatever just because it's cool, you know, because you're going to influence that person next to you, or if you become really famous, influence the young generations just to do exactly what you said, even though if you didn't mean it. Because what the youngers don't realize is that these rappers don't, and I promise you, they don't want to be in the street. They've done music so that they can get out of the street, but then they're just talking about an imaginary scenario, which the youngers are now impersonating and wearing like as like clothes, like literally. So yeah, it's very important to just be conscious of the things you say and talk about. Definitely.
Yeah, man. I mean, a lot of people know you for music, but you're a lot more talented there. I know you dabble in a lot of like other creative directional projects as well as modeling. I know you played part in the major role of a pinnacle moment in culture of may his soul rest in peace, Virgil Abloh's first fashion show for Louis Vuitton. Do you want to tell us more about how that opportunity came about?
Yeah, literally, Virgil just shouted me, and he was just like, "Yo, come and walk this show in Louis Vuitton." And we literally went there, and it was mad. There was Kid Cudi like in the, and this is that, bro. I'm from London, and it's like you don't see Kid Cudi, Playboy Carti, Kanye West, Kim Kardashian. Bro, I was like, bro, this is the maddest thing in the world. I was walking through, like when I was doing the walk, I walk through and I see Rihanna, I see A$AP Rocky, I see Kanye. He's like looking at you like that. It's like, that's mad. Do you understand? It was like all of the biggest people in the whole game was there. Thanks to Virgil, you know, but he only brought this black, not even just black people, but it was like black and white models. But this was like, again, as you said, a pinnacle moment, not only for fashion, but in Paris as well, where things are largely racist. It kind of changed everything in that moment, innit? Like, literally gave those black people a new name in fashion, and I really hope that, you know, we can all continue his legacy and really teach the youngers to continue this legacy of positivity, you know what I mean, and not of too much negativity, you know, because you know what, I'm not gonna lie, in the Black culture that there is still a lot of negativity. I'm not gonna lie, you know, and we do talk a lot about how other people treat us and how we are not given those positions, but then we have to be really conscious about how we treat each other, you know, as well. So loads of kids dying on the street every day, like literally, Black killing Black, and Virgil is the only one I've seen unite Black people for something so groundbreaking and positive in a long time, you know. Rest in peace, you know.
Yeah.
But example from him, you know, I'm trying to say to you, and continue like that.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like I had Lasher on the podcast a couple of months ago. He's the founder of Stilo, very close friends with Skepta. And he was telling me how when he got the same opportunity, it's just like, it was just amazing to see how Virgil just opened up so many doors and he allowed so many people to prosper, even though, you know, he had his own, you know, his own like priorities, but that was his main focus and able to give the torch to the next generation.
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, you know, we spoke about a bit about coronavirus a bit during that phase, or how you know, were touring and you managed to get Future and Gunna on the tracks now that are on Alpha album now. During that time, that's when you started Sex Am Club, right?
Yeah.
Do you want to tell us more about what that is and what is the vision for that?
And this is where we talk about God's alignment, because I was starting a label for myself. I was living with my ex at the time, and it was very toxic. Like, you know, so it was very toxic, and you know, I wanted to kind of especially with my label, it was like, again, the rules and the controlling and kind of like what's going on here and there. It wasn't that much controlling, to be honest, but it was kind of like the attemptions of control. And it wasn't their fault, obviously, they're just being a label, but I didn't like it. So I started my own label, and wanted to kind of branch out and be an independent artist, you know, and like God literally made it happen, right timing. And now we're signing two of my friends, Michael Phantom and a guy called Mansion Boy, which is really who are really talented artists. Another guy called Blake, who's so incredible, and it's really now outside myself. And yeah, if you know anything about the music industry, when you're signed, the label actually take 80% of your streaming revenue. So whatever money you make, 80%. Yeah, so you're left with 20%.
That's crazy.
You know? Yeah. So now, you know, even though it was a big thing in the media, everyone was like, "Oh, you got dropped from your label. It must be so hard for you." It's like, well, now I have 100%, which is a completely different ball game, which I've never seen before, which equates to obviously money and that you've never seen before, your hard-earned money. So the independence is good, and I feel like I'm in a better place.
That's awesome, bro. I really love the content that you've been pushing on Sex Am Club, and I know that it's going to be a huge success, especially with the artists that you just named now. I mean, it's just been honestly just amazing, you know, being in this moment. And I'm very curious again. I just want to find out from you, like, what inspires you? Like, what drives your creativity, and what allows you to tap into that creativity, like that creative spark?
I think it's all the wrong things. I think it's things that I need to work on, but I think a lot of people have the same issue. I think people telling you that you can't do something or underestimating, of course, mixed in with the people that do believe in you and the motivation to do it for them, but also to prove to yourself and others. And which the thing I need to work on is the others part. It's like I should just do it for myself, but because you're so in, it is an others sort of game I'm playing. You know, it's not just me. We are all connected. It's to prove to others that, you know, you can do something amazing, and, you know, you're human, but you can do very unhuman, you know, achievements, you know, unrealistic goals. And probably when I was younger, the thing that motivated me the most is people saying, you can't, there's no way you homeless is gonna, you know, make it, or, you know, you need to find a job. And I was like, okay, cool. And I did it, you know what I mean? And then people are like, yeah, yeah, this music is a little bit too weird. And then Drake posts it, and then, you know, it's always about like proving people, not proving people wrong, but proving an energy that someone gave you wrong. And you know, it's like a problem that you fix. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's my motivations to do better and to become greater.
Yeah, man, I totally get what you're saying. I mean, you're going to be having a child soon. Congratulations on that, man. Big ups on that. Is there something that you'd want for your child to know? Like what's the most important thing that you'd want your child to know, once they're here?
I think, I know, hearing my story, I think a lot of people outside of this will probably be surprised, but I think the main, for me, the main thing for my daughter, it's going to be a little girl, is to be absolutely free. Obviously, within a kind of a guideline, but of lessons that I've learned in the past, but restrictions is probably like, hearing my story again, like restrictions is the worst thing for anybody. I think she needs to be as free as possible to be able to decide freely exactly what she wants to do. I think freedom is what we all long for, isn't it? Like what we do for the freedom to wake up whenever you want, and the freedom to go wherever you want, and to love whoever you want, you know, to be whoever you want to be. That is very important for that's probably the number one most important thing, is her freedom, you know, and whether that's financially, or what friends she meets, or what color she dyes her hair, or what religion she chooses, or it has to be her own decisions, you know.
I love that. That's a really powerful message that, you know, that your daughter can take in, and it's awesome that you're really conscious of that already. I wanted to ask you, so given all the experiences that you've experienced so far, I know part of the hero's journey, as I mentioned before, it comes with making a lot of mistakes. And I want to ask you, what mistakes do you think were crucial that you made, that were actually beneficial on your journey, that you'd give out advice to any young person on their journey towards becoming an artist?
I think I've made loads of mistakes because of you know, there's no excuse for mistakes. You make mistakes. That's how you grow in it. In any motivational speech, if you look at Elon Musk or whatever, any successful person that you want, Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, you know, even Malcolm X, you know, when he was younger, he was arrested for abuse. But if he wouldn't have learned from his past, he wouldn't have become Malcolm X. What people need to learn is that people need to go through experiences, however bad or good it is, to become better people. I think.
Feeling like MJ, I'm a pop star, I'm a rock star. Came in the game and I do it now. Came in the game and I own it now. Man's on me out, they out here chasing cloud. How can they still doubt? We sold the show out. Chillin' with my team, 2 bags out in Ibiza. Clowns try call me out, but we are not the same. Man's both different, man can't even hold me trousers. Too much government trips can buy all your clowns' houses.
That new by Malume Z, Madman Magezi, local talent here in SA. Man, I'm so keen for this beat when it comes out.
Wicked. Yeah.
Sweet.
So yeah, as I was saying, I think mistakes. The big mistakes that I've done is I think even in my relationship, definitely was my arrogance, which was kind of like my confidence, but it wasn't clear confidence. Arrogance is when you're not so confident. It's like your insecurity in it. You're insecure, so you say who you are and you say what you want to be. I'm the best, and nobody can tell me what to do, or that's always how I've been. People take that wrong, but it's not actually bad. I'm just saying who I am. I'm not saying who you should be. I've never tried to restrict someone from being who they are. You know what I mean? But my mistakes are not being considerate of the people around me and how they perceive me, because that is your protection. You can't be too real, too emotional, and put that on others. That's your emotion. So like, keep that kind of to yourself. And only when someone asks, you tell them. You don't have to be the loudest person in the room, for example, because a lot of people will take advantage of that, or perceive you as a certain way. Arrogance again, misjudgment, judging people. I used to judge people a lot. This is me being very, very honest, but these are things that I feel like people should learn to not do through me. I used to judge people a lot. I used to be very emotionally driven. Like when I was angry, I used to show emotion. When I disagreed with something, I'll be the first one to say it. And in a way, it's good because it shows that you're honest and it shows that you're real and whatever. But you should never be the loudest person. Take your own opinion, because in the end, it might not even be a fact. Just take that within your journey and move on. Always be kind to the people around you. Never feel like you're above them, because in my career that created so much resentment with so many people, that I've really, really learned from that to not ever be like that again. So yeah, those are some of my mistakes that I think that people should learn, not to be like through me. Be very calm, collected, go through life in a very calm state of mind.
Yeah, I think those are some. Sorry. Yeah,
I don't know if that.
I was saying those are great words of wisdom, and what I'm getting from that is just being able to practice self-awareness, and I think that's something that isn't talked a lot about, especially in the Black community, but just in the world in general. I know self-awareness will unlock so many things about yourself that will allow you to kind of navigate the world, because through understanding yourself, you understand more people, because you understand that we're all the same. Like, I'm you, you, me. And if you can understand yourself, you'll be able to understand how someone else works,
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly it, man. Self-awareness is a brilliant word.
Yeah.
Is the main thing. If you know that you're doing wrong, you have to be able to have such self-awareness that you know, and then you can go to a different direction. I think that's what so many people lack is that self-awareness and the fact that we are all unified, but we need to check ourselves, not other people all the time, like, oh yeah, he's this or she's that or whatever. We're all here and on this earth to become the person we're meant to be. We're not born like that, innit? So yeah, self-awareness.
So key. And I really want to, if you're willing to go there, I really just want to offer you the opportunity to kind of be able to tell your side of the story, because I know you received a lot of backlash. You talked about it a bit with your ex-girlfriend, and I think that especially in today's society and culture, not everyone is able to hear two sides of the story. A lot of people hear one side and they take that as the truth.
I think my mistake when speaking about this subject every time is over defending myself. The only reason I'm doing that is because I believe it's so unfair the way I was treated. Honestly, that's the honest truth. And I'm a person of honesty. Like I'll just say it how it is, and that's actually my problem. So I think my problem was it's not again taking on the responsibility that I was in the toxic relationship. I participated in a toxic relationship. I was there, and it was two people that made each other's lives bad in certain ways. And what she's saying out into the media is her expression of how she felt, even though I don't believe that's how it went. But if that is how she felt, then I can only apologize. I can't go back into the past. I was the one who ended the relationship, and I was the one who didn't want her for a long time. So, but still, she was in her place of mind, and I was focusing on the music, and I really wanted to get away. And it was a very toxic relationship when we was living together and was very young. And I've just learned how to kind of just not put, it's not her fault, it's nor mine, as we both had opportunities to leave the relationship, but we both did that to each other. It was a very toxic, very bad relationship. And to anyone who there's triggers, and I know there's real abuse situations out there, but I can assure you it was nowhere near an abusive relationship. It was just a very, very toxic relationship of two people that lived together and had very separate interests. And you don't know it when you're in a toxic relationship, because you're locked in. And I tried to leave again so many times, like that police have been around my house so many times, but it's hard when you care for someone. You always have a place for them. You'll never be like, that's like your family. Like you'll never be like, you have to go on the street and whatever. You're always like, if they come back, you're always going to be like, okay, cool, like let's try and make this work. And that was both of our faults for not stopping it faster and moving on faster. And now in my new relationship, it's taught me so much, like how to stay calm in all situations. Again, like self-awareness, how to the importance of freedom, of space, of no jealousy whatsoever. That's the main. Jealousy is the worst thing that you can have in a relationship. Oh, you're sleeping with this girl, or that insecurity of your second half leaving is probably like that's always the basis of a toxic relationship, always. So yeah, me and my new relationship, jealousy is like, there's no jealousy, there's no really any arguments. Obviously we talk it out, but that's it. We never raise our voice, like, and what people are, and what a lot of people go through is that they go through that toxic relationship first, or that toxic relationship, whether it's with your girl or your man or your friend or whatever, to then learn how to become better, you know, as a person, learn how to treat people better. And those lessons that you get from that toxic relationship pushes you towards knowing what it is and what isn't a toxic relationship, you know. And people think that toxic relationships are like kind of rare, but they're not, you know. And maybe if you haven't had one now, you can have one when you're 30, you can have one when you're 16, you know, but everyone has one where you learn how to not be, you know. And yeah, that's basically what I wanted to say on that subject.
Yeah, I get you, man. I want to thank you for your honesty and your authenticity, you know, to be willing to share your side of the story. I just want to end off by asking you, is there anything that you'd want to ask me?
Yeah, well, first of all, why did you start this podcast?
So one of the reasons why I started this podcast, right, is because, you know, I've been a young person who's like just been doing the most, like, you know, going out, you know, clubbing, just not living a life of purpose, you know. And it really took like a couple of unfortunate events, you know, passing away of my mom and just other certain circumstances in my life just to allow me to wake up, where I had this, you know, revelation, you could say, where if I had actually died, you know, what did I do while I was here, you know? You know, everyone parties, everyone, you know, just lives a life of, you know, the fast life, but like, what did I actually contribute to the world? How did I leave it a better place? Was I even connected to God? You know, and that's also an important thing. And so going through that journey and connecting more with God, I kind of came to this conclusion that like there's actually a way to be of service to others, and that can be through reaching out to people who are actually living the life that a lot of people want to be living, but not to say like it's a quote unquote, oh, this person's successful, but like more so just to give people inspiration and motivation that like, yo, dude, like this guy went through so many challenges, this guy went through so many hurdles, but he never gave up. And you may be going through this circumstance, but you can do it too. He's got 2 arms, he's got 2 legs, he's a human being just like you. What's stopping you from doing it? You know? And yeah, and I feel like in South Africa especially, there's just a lack of information and knowledge. So that's also one of the driving forces behind this podcast, to be able to give people the information and the knowledge so they can use it to better their lives.
How old are you?
I'm 25.
25.
Yeah.
Very mature. Very, very mature. Yeah, I think that this podcast is great. To dissect people, really get into their life and what have they learned from it. There's a podcast that's just like this that I actually watch all the time. I forgot what it's called. I think it's called like to be incredible. I'll send you the link after, but you'll love it. But I really respect what you're doing, man. Really keep going, and you've got all my support, bro. Like,
bless up,
really
bro. Bless up, man. Just to give more awareness to you, man. Where can the people that are listening find you on social media? Like, what are your social handles?
So Instagram is Octavian SE. Obviously, Twitter, Octavian Lenoir. And TikTok is Octavian SE. And YouTube, Octavian, and you'll find some cool music, and I hope you will like it.
House, man, you heard it from the man himself. And if you haven't already, go listen to his album Alpha. It's out now on all streaming platforms. You definitely won't be disappointed. It's a banger.
Thank you very much, bro.
Yeah, we can end it at that, man. Thank you so much, bro.
Thank you very much for having me, my bro. It's a good podcast. Very much, very, very good.
Definitely, bro. We'll keep in touch.
Love and respect, power to you, my pals.